Well, when I woke up this morning, she was gone, 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 gone. And she would not even tell me the reason why. How she loved to dance that old grizzly bear. I guess she's gone to Frisco to dance up there. Because when I woke up this morning, she was gone. Got what you need, Randy? Not yet. One more. Well, she made me sad. Oh, I felt so bad. That's my favorite part. But she would not even tell me the reason why. Oh, but how she loves to dance that old grizzly bear. Guess she's gone to Frisco and dance it there. Because when I woke up this morning, she was gone. Solid gone. Yeah, when I woke up this morning,
and so I ran out to the piano, which was unusual because I don't play the piano. But I ran out there anyway, and I started thinking, okay, what hasn't already been written about? We've got snowman songs, you know, and we've got lots of Santa Claus songs and things like that. And I started thinking about the different sort of emblems of Christmas, and I came up with a poinsettia. And I thought, I want this to be a kid's song, because Grandma was not. It was intended as a bar song. And after it took off, somebody called me, a reporter called me, and in the course of our conversation, he told me that Johnny Marks, who wrote Rudolph, was making $500,000 a year off of all the merchandising that goes with that, and cartoons and stuff. And I thought, wow, if I'd have known that, I'd have made my song more kid-friendly. And so I thought this new song should be kid-friendly too. And so you can sort of hear the cartoon in it. It's Percy the puny poinsettia. Percy the puny poinsettia, hanging his bloom in dismay. If they had just kept him wetter, he'd be a houseplant today. Folks like the other plants better. Now he's alone on the shelf. Even a plant with no uncle or aunt shouldn't spend Christmas Day by himself. Holiday shoppers would stop at the counter and pick out a plant to take home. One at a time, all his friends were adopted till Percy was left all alone. Percy, the puny poinsettia, hanging his bloom in dismay. If they had just kept him wet, he'd be a houseplant today. Folks like the other plants better. Now he's alone on the shelf. Even a plant with no uncle or aunt shouldn't spend Christmas Day by himself. Then into the shop on the day before Christmas came a poor little girl who was crying. And when she saw Percy, her eyes opened wide, and she said, "Can I please make him mine?" Now Percy, the puny poinsettia, is standing beside Mr. Tree. His leaves, they've never been redder. He's as proud as a houseplant can be. Somebody made him feel better, rescued him off of the shelf. Even a plant with no uncle or aunt shouldn't spend Christmas Day by himself. Even a plant with no uncle or aunt shouldn't spend Christmas Day by himself. band called Young Country at the time, and we still refused to break up and keep playing. But this was back in the 70s, and my function in the band was sort of the comic relief. Once a set, I would do one of my novelty songs, and so I asked them, how would you feel about us doing a Christmas song, and that was okay. They were polite, and so we started singing Grandma, and it was definitely not the most popular song of mine that we did. You know, the audiences were okay, but they really preferred things like She Was Only a Fisherman's Daughter, but boy did she reel when I showed her my rod. But in Christmas of 1978, actually it was Thanksgiving leading up to about December 15th, we were playing at the Hyatt in Lake Tahoe, and our van broke down. We stayed at the hotel one extra night. The band that followed us in, Elmo and Patsy, were gracious and asked us to join them on stage, and we would all do some bluegrass songs together. And somebody sent up a request for this song, and they heard it, and they surprised me. Afterwards they said, "Would you record this on our cassette recorder? We'd like to learn it, and it's our kind of song. We'd like to sing it." And I was just thrilled to think that somebody might mention my name as a songwriter when I wasn't in town. I thought, boy, this is as good as it gets. And then about 3 months later, I got a tape in the mail, and they'd gone into a studio in Nashville and recorded the song, and they said, "We're planning on putting out a single and selling it from the stage at Christmas time when we play." So now I was super excited because my name was going to be under the title on a record, and that had never happened before. But none of us expected it to go any further than that, and a friend of theirs, who I think I connected with on Facebook 2 nights ago, took this thing into San Francisco, and the disc jockey put it on the air. And the phone immediately rang off the hook at KSFO with people saying, "Don't ever play that song again." And to this day, they're still calling. But it took off from there, and you hear songwriters talking about what it's like to be driving down the street and hearing your song come on the car radio for the first time. And I mean, it was incredibly exciting. I was on Northwest Highway in Dallas. I rolled all the windows down and cranked the radio up to force the other people to hear it. But I got to tell you that it was a little bit disappointing to me because I had really written this with a Merle Haggard parody in mind. I used some chord changes from If We Make It Through December, and I sort of used the structure of Daddy Frank, some of his songs, and I intended it to be sung seriously, as though the singer didn't understand there were any humor in it. And here was Hee Haw on the radio, and I thought, I'm not sure that's the way that song was meant to be done. But then, about every 6 weeks, royalty checks started showing up in the mailbox, and I said, that's exactly the way that song. I don't sound a thing like Elmo. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe she'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go. But she left her medication, so she stumbled out the door into the snow. When we found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack, she had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Grandpa. He's been taking this so well. See him in there watching football, drinking beer and playing cards with Cousin Mel. It's not Christmas without Grandpa. All the family's dressed in black, and we just can't help but wonder, should we open up her gifts or send them back?
Send them back!
Thank you. Grandma walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now the goose is on the table, and a pudding made of fig, and a blue and silver candle that would just have matched the hair in Grandma's wig. I've warned all my friends and neighbors, better watch out for yourselves. They should never give a license to a man who drives a sleigh and plays with elves. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. One more time. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Merry Christmas. Ken and Greg are really lucky that all you people came out to see me tonight. They appreciate that. After I finish it, before they start, we'll be handing out the catheters. Because you know you can't go anyplace once you're in there.
No, Ziploc bags were better.
Maybe for you.
I'm going to use the beer pitcher at a Where was I? Oh, just starting. All right. Since it's Christmas time, let's do a Christmas song. This is one I wrote for Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. They're not aware of it, but when I was just a child, I can remember the way Christmas morning used to be. I'd wake before the sun, throw the covers off and run to see what Santa left beneath the tree. Church bells in the distance were proclaiming their song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Now all I need to do is come running home to you, and I get that Christmas feeling once again. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. You decorate my mind with memories and fill my heart with song. And I don't have to wait until December comes along. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. No matter whether snow is gently falling or carolers are gathered in the street, my love for you's the same in the sunshine or the rain, in bitter cold or blazing summer heat. Now there's no need to wrap me up a present. Don't waste your money, darling, 'cause you see, just knowing you'll be near every season of the year is the greatest gift that you could give to me. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. You decorate my mind with memories and fill my heart with song. And I don't have to wait until December comes along. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. When someone asks me what I want for Christmas, I know it may sound strange, but I reply, the first thing on my list is that I be hugged and kissed by you from now until the day I die. This Christmas Eve when Santa comes to our house, I'm gonna keep you out of sight because I know if he saw you, he would feel the way I do, and he'd take you home and leave me Mrs. Claus. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. You decorate my mind with memories and fill my heart with song. And I don't have to wait until December comes along. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. You make me feel like it's Christmas all year long. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of good things happened for me. I started hearing from a lot of people that I would never have heard from. And I got a letter one day from some girls, a group of four sisters and a cousin, I believe they were called, and they were about to make their debut on the Grand Ole Opry, and it was going to be around Christmas time. And they said, we just thought it would be fun if we had a novelty song to sing on the Opry. Do you have anything? So I sent them what songs I had, and they wrote back to me. They said, well, those are nice, but that's not exactly what we had in mind. We were thinking of a Christmas novelty song from a feminine perspective. Wow. Specialized, you know. That's a niche thing. So I sat down and put on a skirt and get an idea what it felt like.
How was it?
It was breezy because it was late in the fall. It reminds me, this weather has us all confused. It's so cold outside and so hot inside. When I left home, my wife was putting on long johns over crotchless panties.
All right, all right. Yes.
Where was I? So I wrote that song from a feminine perspective, and I sent it off to them. I think that was 1998, and they haven't replied yet. The theory is that they didn't care for it, but I wrote it, so I sing it anyway. This got played once that I know of on the radio. The station up in Sherman said they would only play it during the hours when children were in school. I won't be spending Christmas wishing that I had some place to go. This gal's had a proposition from someone whom I think you know. Ho, ho. I'm going on a date with Santa, the man with the big red bag. It's not a romance, just dinner and dance, but I know the tongues will wag. I'm going on a date with Santa, I'm leaving my cares behind, and I hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus don't mind. I went to the mall and I sat on his lap. He gave me a pinch and I gave him a slap. He hung candy canes on the front of my blouse. I think something stirred and it wasn't a mouse. I gave him a wink. He asked if I'd like to go out for a drink. I know that he's old and he's way overweight, but I couldn't resist a celebrity date. So I'm going on a date with Santa, the man with the big red bag. It's not a romance, just dinner and dance, but I know the tongues will wag. I'm going on a date with Santa, I'm leaving my cares behind, and I hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus don't mind. I'm rolling my hair up on little round pegs. I'm fluffing and glossing and shaving my legs. I know that it's silly, I ought to get real. If he sees when I'm sleeping, then what's the big deal? He's picking me up around 5:15. He said that we'll go to some quaint little dive. I asked him which one, and he said he's not sure, but it'll be someplace that doesn't mind reindeer manure. I'm going to Santa, the man with the big red bag. It's not a romance, just a dinner and dance, but I know the tongues will wag. I'm going on a date with Santa, I'm leaving my cares behind. And I hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus don't mind. He knows that I'm naughty, he says it's okay. To tell you the truth, he prefers it that way. I know he leaves gifts under everyone's tree, but he says that he's got something special for me. I asked what she'd do if his wife ever found her jolly old man had been fooling around. He told me they keep their affairs to themselves, and he'd rather not talk about her and the elves. The man with the big red bag is not a romance, just dinner and dance. And I know the tongues will wag. I'm going on a date with Santa. I'm leaving my cares behind. And I hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus, hope Mrs. Claus don't mind. I mentioned that the Bad Monkeys had recorded Going on a Date with Santa. How that came about was a studio in Fort Worth last year decided that they were going to put out a Christmas sampler of different acts that recorded at their studio, and they were going to send this out to Texas music format stations and see if we could get some airplay. And I was thrilled to get an opportunity to record the song, especially because we have a girl singer with a fantastic voice that would do it justice. But I knew it would never get played on Texas music stations, because what stations with this format mean by Texas music is not Van Cliburn or Mary Martin or even Norah Jones. They're talking about bro country. It's got to be I Got Drunk at the Rodeo song. And so then I thought, I could have took the wife out Christmas shopping. I could have took the kids to see the lights. We could have all sat down and watched some wrestling, like we always like to do on Friday nights. I could have told the story of the wise men. I could have hung the angel on the tree. But a boys' night out at Christmas sounded festive. Now the holidays are all wrapped up for me. I got drunk at the rodeo at Christmas. I drank way too many beers and I threw up. Fell out of the stands into the sawdust, and the bull attacked my bright red Solo cup. Now I'm bandaged from my boots up to my Stetson, and I'm drugged, but still the pain won't go away. I got drunk at the rodeo for Christmas, and I hope I heal before St. Patrick's Day. Drank a PBR before I left my pickup. Drank a cold Coors Light while folks was filing in. During calf roping time, I drank an Ultra and a Miller's while I watched to see who'd win. When they barrel race, I always drink a Lone Star, and tequila helps me to enjoy the action. Then my buddy loaned a hit of his Jack Daniels, and the lights went out and I woke up in traction. A little country church is such a cool place at Christmas, or a mall is where your kids are overjoyed. You can sail on down to Panama for Yule on the Isthmus, but a rodeo arena is a place you should avoid, 'cause I got drunk at the rodeo for Christmas. I drank way too many beers and I threw up. I fell out of the stands into the sawdust, and the bull attacked my bright red Solo cup. Now I'm bandaged from my boots up to my Stetson, and I'm drugged but still the pain won't go away. I got drunk at the rodeo for Christmas, and I guess this is the price I have to pay. Hey, hey, I just hope I heal before St. Patrick's Day. Oh, Danny boy. song is just a concept. I really did write one song for my wife. In 26 years of marriage, she really didn't want me to write a song because she's heard all these other songs and she knows the kind of songs I wrote. Was afraid what it might be. But about 4 years ago, I suddenly couldn't put any weight on a leg anymore, and I was in horrible pain, and it turned out to be a badly herniated disc and requiring surgery, and I had to wait a week and a half for the surgery. So I was just bedbound, and Marty did everything, took care of the house, took care of me, and she was such a saint without complaining that I thought, I wish there was something I could contribute. And my guitar was over at the side of the bed, and the light bulb went off, and I thought, I could still write, you know. And I'd love to write a song for my wife, but what would I say? And just about that moment, she walked around the corner with one of the horse tranquilizers that she was bringing me to take. And I thought, you're my legs when I can't walk. And I wrote that down, and the pill kicked in and wrote the whole rest of the song for me. So this song is really a testament to pharmaceuticals. You're my voice, babe, when I cannot talk. You're my two legs when I cannot walk. You're the anchor in my deep blue sea. You're a whole lot better half of me. You're the answer when I can't explain. I'm the verse and you're my sweet refrain. You're the sugar babe in my sweet tea. You're a whole lot better half of me. You're the palm tree on my tropic isle. You're the accessory that's always in style. You're the only one can make me smile when my world's a darker shade of gray.
All right.
You're the ringtone on my telephone. You're the sprinkles on my ice cream cone. I'll be yours until eternity. You're a whole lot better half of me. You're the angel on my Christmas tree. You're the umbrella in my daiquiri. You're the candles on my birthday cake. You're the goodness and for goodness sake. You're my voice, babe, when I cannot talk. You're my two legs when I cannot walk. You're the anchor in my deep blue sea. You're a whole lot better half of me. You see, you're the whole lot better half of me. Ooh-wee, you're the whole lot better half of me. I don't know what year, but I remember it was November 5th. It was 85 degrees in Dallas. I was out in the front yard in shorts and a t-shirt picking up the Halloween candy wrappers that were still on the lawn.
That was this year.
Could have been any year around here, I guess. And I walked back inside and I heard on the radio rocking around the Christmas tree, and I thought, must be advertising something that's coming up, you know, in 6 weeks. But no, then another Christmas song came on, and another one after that, and it turned out that 103.7 Light FM had already gone to their all Christmas, all the time format less than a week after Halloween. And that pissed me off. and I stayed irritated by that right up until 3 weeks later. It was the day before Thanksgiving, and I was at North Park Mall, and of course it was totally decorated. It was all tricked out for Christmas. No thought of Thanksgiving, you know, all the lights, and I think Santa was already there, and poinsettias. Except for Nordstrom's. I rounded the corner, and Nordstrom's had a big butcher paper covering their windows, and there was artwork on there. Somebody had drawn a horn of plenty and a turkey, and the little sign said, "We will be decorated for Christmas on Friday, November 27th. We believe in celebrating one holiday at a time." I just loved that, and I ran right home and I wrote "It's Halloween," a Christmas song. The jack-o'-lantern is almost dead. The trick-or-treaters are all in bed. I'm weary too, but duty calls. Let's nog the eggs and deck the halls. When midnight comes on Halloween, we'll change the orange to red and green. We've heard enough of Monster Mash. Bring on those deer that dance and dash. It's Halloween, let's hang the lights, chop down a tree, play Silent Night. It's Halloween, no time to waste. Christmas will be here in 55 days. As soon as all the ghouls have gone, we'll place the manger on the lawn. Where shall we put the wise men three? Next to the werewolf against the tree. There used to be another holiday late in the fall, Thanksgiving Day. No one remembers what that was. Perhaps the birthday of Santa Claus. It's Halloween, let's hang the lights, chop down a tree, play Silent Night. It's Halloween, no time to waste. Christmas will be here in 55 days. Now on December 25th, we'll wake up early and open gifts. And when we're done, about 9:30, we'll all start writing Valentines. Our one complaint, we Christmas geeks, is that it only lasts 8 weeks. When next year comes, we think we may start decorating on Labor Day. It's Halloween, let's hang the lights, chop down a tree, play Silent Night. It's Halloween, no time to waste. Christmas will be here in 55 days. It's Halloween, let's hang the lights, let's hang the lights, chop down a tree, play Silent Night, It's Halloween, no time to waste, Christmas will be here in 55 days. Christmas will be here in 55 days. Come Igor, time to hang the stockings. Yes, master. Stick around for Greg and Tim.
Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad.
Mom needs more money in the Nordstrom's account. You know, I don't know if I've ever sung this song down here before, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I suspect from the way a lot of you folks are dressed this evening that you're into science fiction.
How'd you guess?
Especially Randy. And this is really the only science fiction song in my repertoire. I wrote it for the horror film The Fly.
Oh my God.
And at the last minute, the movie was running a little long, and they had to cut the theme song and left it on the cutting room floor. And I think you can't fully appreciate what that movie's all about until you've heard the song. And now you people will go out of here having a whole new appreciation, I think. I want to warn you folks in the back, this may be too intense for younger children. Just kidding.
We have earplugs for
That's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half man, half bug. Not the kind of guy you'd want to hug. A most unfortunate case, they call him the Fly. In the lab, Late one night, something didn't go quite right. Radiation changed him into the fly. Faulty apparatus and a slight miscalculation. Yesterday's young scientist became today's mutation. Neighbors outside spray him with insecticide. No one wants to live next door to the fly. Folks don't realize it's hard to focus those compound eyes. No more watching the girls when you are the fly. Tragic deformation left him miserable and lonely. Through his great proboscis, he can slurp up liquids only. In the movie, this was supposed to be a fly solo. Carefully he hides his face for fear of being spotted. For without disguise, he might be recognized and swatted. Right arm, left wing, he had to switch his wedding ring. Life is full of these problems when you're the fly. Brand new sex life, he has a new appeal for his wife. She can't keep her hands away from his fly. No more eating out, but friends for now they find him squalid. Take him out to lunch, he just might sit on someone's salad. Half man, half bug, and he's not the kind of guy you'd want to hug. A most unfortunate case, they call him the fly. Head of an insect, legs of a man, wasn't exactly part of the plan. Nobody knows what it's like to be the fly. I've got a 4-note register. It's got to be just exactly right. By request, I was at a songwriter thing 2008, I suppose, because it was right before the election. And one of the songwriters who's no longer with us, Troy Allen, friend, talked about how he had just finished up one of the songs he sang in his truck on the way out to East Texas to this gig. And we got to talking, and he said, yeah, I never play the radio. That's when I'm driving from town to town, I let inspiration come. And he said, you'd be surprised, if you just shut out the noise, things will come to you. So the next morning I had to get up before daylight and drive back to Dallas in the dark. And I thought, well, I'll try that. And this is what happened. I've never done that again after this experience. But this is the song that I was pretty excited to have written and memorized the whole song on a 3-hour drive. And so I ran in the house and I looked for my wife, and I finally found her and burst into the room where she was. And I said, honey, listen to this. I'll see what you think about it. I played her the song. And I said, well, what's your reaction? And she said, who said you could come in the bathroom when I'm naked? She doesn't really care for this song, and I don't usually sing it when she's around because it doesn't speak very kindly of her, and it actually comes right out and mentions the other woman. Whoa. Whoa. And recorded this up in Nashville last December, and we used accordion player that's with Emmylou Harris's band on it. And after we finished the recording, he said, do I have to have a credit on this? So that'll set you up. Sometimes I believe you don't love me no more when you treat me the way that you do. You don't ever sweep up our mobile home floor, and you won't even fetch me a brew. When we was first hitched, you was one sexy bitch. When did you turn into a shrew? I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. I'd have me no cares, she'd protect me from bears while she served as my one-woman crew. With her Photoshop body, she looks like a hottie. She's nice, but she's naughty too. I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. makes me my lunch. And if I dare tell you I'm thirsty as hell, well, you'll give me a Hawaiian punch. Oh, don't you recall when we started it all, how you loved me with all of your heart? Now I ask for a quickie, you call me a sickie. Oh, when did we drift apart? I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. I'd have me no cares, she'd protect me from bears while she served as my one-woman crew. With her Photoshop body, she looks like a hottie. She's nice, but she's naughty too. I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. At night while you're snoring, I lie there awake, and my mind has a mind of its own. I dream about stealing a boat off the lake and sailing to islands unknown. And if I could vote on who I would elect to join me in nautical bliss, you can have your Obama, I'd holler, oh mama, Alaska, to give me a kiss. I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. I'd have me no cares, she'd protect me from bears while she served as my one-woman crew. With her Photoshop body, she looks like a hottie. She's nice, but she's naughty too. I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you. I'd rather be sailing with Governor Palin than fighting all day with you.
Well, is that your drink?
Check 2, 3. Yes.
So this one.
Yeah, swing.